Here we have the 9 litre Brass Monkey fridge from Jaycar. I'm just going to do a small review on this. I use it most days running in my van. Okay, so we'll just turn this on and see I've got it set at the moment on, let's put it on 2 degrees and it should start up in a minute. No, we might be a little bit cold. Go. So it's got a few features here. As we can see, that's drawing, the lights on it, 3.2 amps at the moment on startup. So we'll give that a bit of a run. So we've got several features here. We've got eco mode and we've got max. So we'll put that on that. So it's on max at the moment. It's telling us we're 11.8 volts on our batteries, or 7, and we're still drawing 3.1 amps. So we'll have a look at that. So a couple of good features here. You can hold this button down on this one and you can adjust this from high, medium and low. Now what that does is that's giving you different settings for your battery. So if you're running it off batteries, you want to drain them down a little bit, you can then leave it on high, or if in your car it's running off the car, you might want to set that to low, and that'll shut off at a different set point. This particular model also has a USB port, charging port here, that I think could come in handy depending what you're using it for. Right, so we'll just open this up. Clips there, as it's quite a, well, it's already really cold. It's not a bad size just for your daily lunchbox or keeping a few cans cold during the day. It's kind of plasticky, but it's hard. You can most probably sit on it. I haven't had any problems with it. It's not dented. I'll show you the setup I have in the van shortly. It's got meant to have a full compressor fridge, and it does cool down rather quickly. What I normally do is turn it on, pull it down to maybe 0 degrees for half an hour, put my lunch in it with a couple of slicker pads, and I usually have that just set on 3 degrees, and it usually just ticks along. It most probably, depending how much it runs, comes on maybe every 15 minutes for 2 to 3 minutes. I find about correct, it's most will be drawing around about 45 watts an hour, what it says. I've had this running off my few batteries for well over 24 hours when I've been away, and it's worked well. But normally my setup, I just run it off the batteries and charge them at night. The only thing I have noticed is that the reading on the screen here is a couple of volts, maybe half a volt different than sometimes what the battery, so there's obviously some losses inside. Could be a problem if you're really running your batteries low, but generally it does work quite good. It holds its temperature quite good. It does pull down. I haven't had it as a freezer, so maybe we might look at doing that in the next video, bringing it down, sort of that here, right down, and see how it goes. If we, because it will go down to, I'll leave that on now, it goes into -20, so that should be cold enough, I would have thought, to have freeze your ice cream and ice blocks for the kids. So it's got many usage. I'll show you in a second. So as you can see here, it's drawing 3.2 amps, so we'll go and switch that on to the eco mode and we'll see what happens. That's dropped right down. It's sitting at 2.4 amps. So I usually run it at, when I'm running off my batteries, on eco mode in the van, mainly because I've already got a cooling pad in there, plus I've already pulled it down to its running temperature on mains power. that I think just gives you a bit of extra life in those batteries, so you're just maintaining that. Also, often if I've made my lunch the night before, I'll put it in, run it overnight, or have that in the fridge. So most things are cool, so that's just keeping the performance of the unit greater. So overall rating, I'd give this most probably nearly a 10 out of 10 for a cheap small fridge. I paid $165 from Jaycar in New Zealand. There is a slightly bigger model. I think the next one up was 15 litres, and that can also have a divider to give you a fridge freezer. As I say, I only use this for a lunchbox, so I decided that I didn't want to take up any more room in my van, but generally very happy. I've been running this for 2 months now in the van most days, and I haven't had any issues with it, and it sits in. So we'll just do a quick view of how it sits in my van, and we'll go from there. So here's my little setup in the van. I've got it here sitting in this little cabinet here. I've just quickly modified the bit of polystyrene it came with so it can sit in it so it's not bouncing around. I'm going to make a door, I think, to go over it, but at the moment I just wanted a little bit of airflow on it and see how it was going to work. It's got a little lid we can just lift up here, and it can just sit nicely there. And so we can just clip that up and get into it, get your lunch and put it down. It'll actually just sit underneath. So yeah, it works really good.